A tremendous milestone for NBAA's CAM program, and a look at what's ahead for this remarkable professional development tool. From the National Business Aviation Association, this is Flight Plan. I'm Pete Combs with your trusted source for business aviation news. It began in 1993 when NBAA's Corporate Aviation Management Committee started work on the development of a certification program. In 2001, the organization began working on the concept of a certified aviation manager, and just 2 years later, the first CAM exam was administered at the NBAA Business Aviation Convention and Exhibition in Orlando, Florida. The program was accredited in 2013 by the National Commission for Certifying Agencies. And now, the CAM Governing Board has presented its 500th certification. Those are some very significant moments in the CAM program, and here to talk about them are CAM Governing Board member Mark Cheney, one of the first ever to achieve this valuable certification. Mark is Senior Director of Aviation Services at Coca-Cola Consolidated in Charlotte, North Carolina. Jamie Stember is an Aviation Department Manager and is the current CAM Governing Board Chairman. He's in Glen Burnie, Maryland. And with us by phone is Tyler Austin, Senior Manager of Certification, speaking to us from NBAA's headquarters in Washington, D.C. Let's start with Chairman Jamie Stember. Of all the milestones the CAM program has marked in the past 15 years, this is certainly one of the most notable, right?
It's taken approximately 15 years. CAM was started in 2004, and I love that you called it a milestone because milestones are not goals. I don't think anybody ever sets out to achieve milestones. Milestones are those things that we reach with small, consistent achievements, and then we add those things up over our tenures and our careers, and something big pops out. And here we are, critical mass at 500 for CAM. We're very excited as a board. And this really goes back to our founding board members, some of our first test takers, those who believed in it, the current board and the constituency believing in CAM and continuing to perpetuate the CAM.
Let me ask Mark this question. It goes back to a matter of perspective. And Mark, when you look back at the beginning of this program, how does the CAM program differ today from when it started those many years ago?
Well, wow, it's really come a long way. It changed a lot. I remember when NBAA first started advertising about that the CAM program was coming. I want to say that was in the probably early 2000s. And I reached out to Jay Evans and said, hey, I want to be part of this. And then had the opportunity to sit for the very first exam in 2003. And fortunately was a part of the group that passed it. So being one of the very first CAMs and then seeing where we are today and then being part of that journey as a member of the CAM Governing Board in the ensuing years has just been an incredible process.
Tyler, when we talk about the significance of having that CAM credential in the industry, I would imagine that the significance has grown over time. What does that come to mean in the business aviation world?
It means a lot. It means that you tested yourself against a set of industry best practices, and you have that knowledge. You're able to articulate that in an exam format. It means a lot. There's a lot of information that is covered in the exam, and it's grown over time as well. So the individuals that took the exam, like Mark, all the way through today, you tested, and now you're maintaining that level of knowledge throughout your entire career. So it's a continued process. It's not just passing the exam. It's how you continue to grow through the program.
And Tyler, just to be clear, this is not one of those pencil-whipped certifications. You have to work to this. And add to that fact, this is a recurring certification. If you're a CAM, you have to be recertified every 3 years.
Yes, you do. Everyone comes to the program through the application process at all different points in their career, expertise. And, you have to, at that point, decide how you're going to prepare with your past experiences and your continued learning. Everyone is able to accomplish this with a lot of practice and a lot of studying.
Let me ask Jamie a question about the people who have come through the program. Are we talking about some of the most notable people within business aviation today, Jamie?
I think it's a mixture of every facet and discipline in the industry, Pete. It's really a tribute to, consistency and intentionality versus the intensity, if you will. The folks who've come through, the 500 CAMs who've come through, have proven that they can do things consistently. They had an intention to do this, and they lived it. They studied. They lived the CAM. They perpetuate the CAM. Mark's a great example of that. These are the kind of people that inspired me to take the CAM, and it's really come full circle.
Mark, you were one of the first CAMs ever certified in the program. Let me ask what that has done for your career, and let me also ask, what does it mean, because you were one of the first, now to see that 500 milestone pass by?
Oh, those are the questions I want to answer, Pete, and I'll tell you, like I said before, when I heard about the program, I knew I needed to be part of it. And when I told our senior leadership that I was going to pursue it, they were behind me 100% because they thought it gave our flight department and our company the prestige for their aviation department leader to have that credential, which was equivalent to all of the other professional certifications, much like the CPA. And then to be part of the first group, for me, especially as someone from the maintenance discipline, was really great, because one of the perceptions that many in the industry had when this program started was that it was only for aviation directors or only for pilots. And being involved with the board early on and listening to feedback from other people, the board listened to that and they heard that, and they've worked diligently through the early years up through the accreditation process to make it inclusive of everyone in business aviation. And I think that's probably the most significant and most noticeable change in the program, is that it's for everybody in business aviation, not just a select few.
Jamie, your career has obviously taken off since becoming a CAM. Tell me a little bit about that and your personal experience with it.
Well, it has. I didn't know what I didn't know. And when I studied for the CAM back in 2007, I knew a lot less than I thought I did. It has helped me grow as a leader. It's helped me grow as a mentor. It's helped me grow to empower my own people to want to be CAMs. My director of maintenance just passed his CAM exam several months ago. And we're looking for our other pilots to do the same. It really is a feather in the cap of anybody in business aviation to want to become a CAM.
And the truth is that it has become this major certification that has become sought after by employers throughout the industry. And to that end, Tyler, let me ask you about CAM as a recruiting tool, whether you're offering to help people get certified as CAM, or on the other side of the equation, you are now a CAM recipient. You're certified as an aviation manager and you're looking for that next career move.
There are a number of companies out there, flight departments, fractional companies that are really using this as a tool in their vetting process, whether they're having CAM on the job description as preferred, or something they would like to see in applicants. So, it's really becoming that credential that people are looking for when hiring new professionals. And it's also used as succession planning within existing departments when they're looking to promote within. It's a career plan for them. They're working with their management to say, we want these individuals within the company to become CAMs in the next couple of years, with that idea that they will take over maybe, the manager of scheduling or chief of maintenance. So there's a number of things that companies in business aviation are doing when looking at CAM as a way to recruit and retain and promote within.
Mark, if you're hiring in your operation and you're looking at someone who's a CAM and someone who's not a CAM, why does the person who has that certification stand out to you as opposed to a candidate who doesn't?
What that CAM accreditation tells me is that that person is wanting to take it to the next level in their career, and that they've taken the time and the effort to learn not just about their specific discipline, but to learn all about each aspect and every facet of an aviation department operation.
Jamie, has the test itself changed in terms of difficulty or in terms of the questions asked?
Well, the test changes, Pete. The difficulty remains the same. Part of our accreditation process maintains or mandates that we maintain the difficulty. But the test does change. And again, we're after the best. We want those who want to strive for great things. We feel that the test differentiates those people who want to take their career to the next level. I really want to piggyback on what Mark said. While leadership may not be for everybody, when you have a CAM around you and you're in an internal discussion within the flight department or with the C-suite, you know that they have a level of expertise that their involvement and their feedback is going to be well respected and well received because they've tested against the benchmark to show that they belong in that conversation.
And Tyler, that's a great point. Another point to be made here is the fact that when you're taking the CAM test and you pass and become a certified aviation manager, whether you're in the maintenance shop, whether you're on the flight line, whether you're an administrator, the point is to demonstrate well-rounded knowledge, right?
Exactly. It is one of the largest bodies of knowledge in certifications. When we go to these certification conferences, we have a very large body of knowledge that we're testing on. And so you can't just be great in one area. You need to have that minimum level of knowledge in all areas because as a manager, you're participating and you have a hand in everything that is going on within your operation, within your flight department, your charter operation, even the manufacturers. You have to have that minimum level of knowledge across all areas. So it's a very comprehensive exam, and it really shows that level of knowledge in the candidates that are testing.
I want to close by asking each of you, beginning with Jamie, what is the future of the CAM program hold? And Jamie, I ask you first because you're the current chairman of the board.
Well, that's a loaded question there, Pete, but I guess I'll say that the future is definitely bright. I believe we've reached critical mass. I don't think anything or anyone lasts forever. We have to continue the pace. We have to continue collecting ideas and working harder and keep loving what we do to perpetuate CAM. Again, I think it goes back to what I said before about just being consistent, keep our intention very focused, and just be passionate about it. And at the end of the day, I think CAM is going to be able to leave a legacy of unintended consequence in the industry of business aviation.
You said unintended consequence. Jamie, what are we referring to?
Well, I think when folks who first thought of CAM and wanted to take business aviation leadership to a different level, to Mark's point, I think it was originally for directors who are already in place. Now we have this mechanism where anybody from any discipline in business aviation can achieve the CAM, and we're going to have leaders who we may have never had in this industry that can do amazing things. So I think CAM is actually going to open doors for people who may not have had an opportunity.
Well, that's a great point. And I want to ask Mark, if you talk about the future with Jamie here and what he sees coming up for the program, I want you to look back for a minute and tell me how the program is changing lives in aviation for those who are involved.
Well, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of stories out there where we could talk about. I remember one particular person that took the CAM exam, and I had spent time with this. He was a chief pilot, and I spent a lot of time on the phone with him. We talked in person a few times, and I was mentoring him, encouraging him to take the test. He had gotten his master's degree. He went and took his CAM exam, and the following week was promoted to director of aviation. You know, when I took the test, I was already an aviation director, but our senior leadership said, yes, you need to do this because we want you to not just be the director, but we want you to be a leader in the industry as well. And now that we're seeing people from all the different disciplines come into this, and as they're able to move into leadership, we know that we've got serving on the board. We've had a dispatcher that's running an aviation department now. So it's really changing the lives of people in all parts of the industry. My experience on the board is we worked hard to try to get more and more people to take the test, and we felt like we were running in place. And we worked through the accreditation process and kind of broke through that, and we saw those numbers begin to turn up. And now as we've crossed the 500 number, and I have the privilege of having that individual in my flight department, it's just really been gratifying to me to see this program come to where it is today.
I will offer the last word to Tyler Austin, who is the staff liaison for the CAM Governing Board. And the question I want to ask you is, when do you believe we'll see CAM number 1000 pass the exam?
I anticipate that number 1000 will be here before we know it. You know, as business aviation continues to change and the makeup of the industry, the folks that are in there, CAM is certifying the next generation of aviation professionals.
That's NBAA Senior Manager of Certification Tyler Austin in Washington, along with CAM Governing Board Chairman Jamie Stember in Glen Burnie, Maryland, and Governing Board Member Mark Cheney in Charlotte, North Carolina. CAM Certificate number 500 was issued to Captain Christine Bocella, who works with Mark at Coca-Cola Consolidated. She's a 10,000-hour-plus pilot with type ratings in Hawkers, Falcons, Citations, and in Boeing 747s. For more information on the CAM program, check out nbaa.org/CAM. You'll also find the CAM application there and some valuable information on how to get started on the path toward your own recognition as a certified aviation manager. And that's the latest from the National Business Aviation Association. Remember, you can subscribe to all Flight Plan podcasts at Apple's iTunes website, at your favorite podcast website, or download them from nbaa.org. I'm Pete Combs. Thanks for listening.